I went to Japan to get back at my best friend. It all started sometime before my mom died. It was the last time I stayed over at his house. He looked upset afterwards, but never told me what was wrong or if I did anything wrong. But I used to stay over at his place, and he used to come over more often to hang out. It felt like I really had a brother, and I was grateful to have someone I could really talk to. When his dad died, he stayed over at my house. But when my mom died, he didn't invite me, and it was just me alone in my room after the funeral. My sister and her husband moved in with us, and with that they brought domestic violence. My best friend's company was enough to get me through the week, even if I just saw him once, because I don't have anyone else I can spend time with just enjoying things that takes my mind off of life's problems. But one thing about him is that he feels like he just has to be right. I worry about saying or doing something wrong, because he just ghosts me if that happens. So I'd buy him gifts to give him in person, because I know he wouldn't ignore me that way. If I ever owe him money, or did something wrong, which I never intended to do, I'm sure expected to make it right. But I live less than 5 minutes from his house, and have known him for more years than people he's known less and live farther, but he lets them stay over. Fortunately, my sister and brother moved out, but that didn't make everything better. Because despite how awful my brother-in-law was, I was at least grateful my dad had somebody to talk to, since I'm a failure of a son who can't be the person he needs after losing his wife. Even though my dad doesn't think I'm a failure and speaks well of me to other people, I can't help it that he's wrong. I explained that to my best friend, and I broke down, a huge mistake. All I asked was if he could come over more often, so it wouldn't feel empty at the house for my dad. He agreed to it, and even agreed to spend New Year's with us. I was looking forward to it more than anything. A few weeks later, my job was having an annual pre-Thanksgiving lunch, and there were plenty of leftovers for a whole family. I took all of it and left nothing for myself, because his sister and her 3 kids recently moved into their home, and money was already tight before, so I wanted to help any way I could. I didn't think he was home at all. Afterwards, he told me his family got on his case for not greeting me. He was upset and acted like I knew he was there, no matter how many times I tried to explain I didn't think he was. So he canceled our New Year's arrangement. It really hurt, and it wasn't even the only time I've helped out his family. I paid to get his car fixed that he desperately needed to start his new job, and he asked how he could repay me. All I asked was to be able to stay over like before, and it's been almost a year since, and I've reminded him twice about it. It's like he thinks I'm just going to forget about that because I tend to forget some things. The final straw was when I noticed one of his friends was over at his house more often when I came over. Then one day he told me that he let him move in because of problems at his home. I didn't need to know, I never asked, and I could have lived the rest of my life not knowing, but he just tells me that while I'm still waiting for him to invite me to stay over. Everyone at my congregation keeps telling me he's not a good friend, and even my mom and his mom warned me about him. But while they're right, at the same time, I don't have anyone else. No matter how hard I've tried to make another friend, nothing stuck. No matter how much they preach about unity and conviviality and friendship that encourages faith, I'm just met with people who say hi, and it doesn't go much further than that. I went to 3 people who said they'd help me to find affordable therapy, but they never got back to me about it and greet me like everything's okay. I thought I was hitting it off with one guy from my congregation. He was the only other person aside from my best friend that I spent time with. He even offered to pay me for recording videos for him from now on. But the more I got to know him, the less and less things had to do with religion, and he just turned out to be an ego-obsessed, skirt-chasing douchebag who laughed at my problems and got mad for not being like him. And the worst of it is, I was willing to put up with that because I needed the money and wanted to help my dad out better. But he didn't pay me for a previous job and didn't pay me the right amount for the last one I did with him, so it was all a waste of time and I stopped seeing him. With all that and some other things, I tried to kill myself by slitting my throat drinking motor oil and ingesting laundry detergent, which I still do, but by some curse I'm still alive for some reason. I figured while I'm still alive I'll get back at him. So I decided to make a trip to Japan because it was our dream to go one day for the longest. In the meantime, he lives in a house of 7 people and 3 pets. I don't buy him gifts anymore. I don't pay for any lunches of his either. His car broke down again, but I'm not paying him a cent to get it fixed. His friend didn't help him either because he's a mooch and instead spent his money on a Nintendo Switch 2 and drugs. His moocher friend's car got wrecked too and he's paying for it all by himself. His new job is 6 days a week and he leaves late, leaving him balding. I'm not helping his family out anymore, so those hungry kids are his problem, made worse by the fact that he never saves any money because he's too busy spending it on luxuries, entertainment, and drugs, and now he has a mooch and 6 dependents to support, and they cut his hours. So while he was dealing with all of that, I was scrambling to get my passport and to get everything I needed for this vacation, which I ended up fortunately going and doing everything that we were going to do together, as she always hoped to ever do and wishes he could do from all the Japan content he consumes.